Okay, let's start over. I'm not sure about the signals here, pero sige, we'll go. I did promise a Facebook Live tungkol dito sa finally na umamin si Chris Aquino regarding yung pagpopondo niya ng isang blogger na very virulently anti-administration who at one point or another ay nag-post ng mga posts laban dito sa mga pro Duterte vloggers, this page included, or at least myself included. And actually both of us here on Luminous have been included dun sa mga masasakit niya minsan na mga hirit. Not that nasaktan naman kami, ano lang, but very clearly, she not only has taken a strong political stand against the administration, pero against the people who support it. Okay, ngayon, ang inevitable question dito, hi Tom, sabi ni Tom, ay hindi ko nababasahin. So the inevitable question here is, since Miss Aquino wants attention so much, why are we talking about this and giving her attention? Well, here's why. It's true that she does like the attention. She does not make a secret out of it. She not only just loves the attention, but she actively seeks it out. Except for this particular issue of funding the Pinoy Ako blog, as revealed by Nico Falsis. And she's clearly so uncomfortable with this particular issue that she held an entire SOCMED version of a press conference, but completely evaded the issue. So why would you evade the issue if it was something that she dearly wanted to talk about? There's nothing that could have stopped Miss Aquino. Remember, she keeps saying that in many of her revelatory speeches, she's always saying na, magagalit yung ate ko, or my sisters have told me not to do this, or my mom, when her mom was still alive, would tell her parate that you shouldn't talk to the public so much, you shouldn't reveal so much, ganyan. And then she will inevitably do the exact opposite. So obviously, sinasabi ni Miss Chris is that nobody really can stop her, not her sisters, when her mom was alive, not her mom, not the public, not even her lawyers. Hindi siya talaga mapipigilan kung gusto niyang pag-usapan itong particular issue na to. So, obviously, she doesn't want to talk about this issue. That's why we're going to talk about it. Okay? So, and also because hindi niya talaga gustong pag-usapan. However, today, nag-post siya sa Instagram niya, and she inevitably admits to funding, to giving money to boost the blog of the Pinoy Ako blog. And she says, I gave Nico money to boost with zero knowledge of my brother. Okay, so we will talk about her brother later on. Among the other issues, just to give you a heads up about the topics we're going to discuss here, because I don't want to discuss topics that have already been brought up by other bloggers like TP or even SAS or anybody else. We're going to talk about four things, sorry. Her product endorsements, well, that's one issue actually. Her rift with her brother, actually, three things lang pala, and her supposed friendship with Bongo. Alright, first, let's talk about her product endorsements. She says that when she made her parang press conference, where there was no press, it was all social media. When she made her social media revelations, she was accompanied by her lawyers, and she made a statement. This was significant. What she was saying was that she might lose about 5 contracts because she's going to reveal something about her health. And there are clauses daw in her contracts that require her either to be in good health or not to reveal that she's in bad health. I think that is a deflection. Why? Because many of the product endorsement contracts contain also, it might contain a health. We're not calling her a liar for that. It's most likely that there is one. But there's also another clause that is standard. in many product endorsements in that hindi, you're not supposed to be political. So normally, product endorsers don't like very political figures because almost automatically, if that person sends an endorsement, makes an endorsement, that person has built-in enemies. So normally, hindi yan mabibigay at all. So her concern might not be the possibility of a health clause coming into play or the product companies, because what company is going to pull out a contract from somebody who is sick and might need the money? Well, maybe she doesn't need the money, but it seems unusually cruel to pull out a product endorsement based on health. So even if it is true that there is a health clause, it would be a PR nightmare for a company to say, you're too sick to endorse us. It doesn't work that way. Advertising is all about perception. And if you're considered a cruel company who's going to buy your product, or at least who is going to buy your product based on your ad, so it's more likely that she will be seen as actively participating in the political scene, whether she's going to run or not. And that makes her less palatable as a product endorser. Next, she was very specific in her recent post about recent posts on Instagram na she made this huge revelation that she and Noy have had a rift. The former president Noynoy Aquino and she are she's hints that they are not on speaking terms, kasi sabi niya, tignan niyo yung mga pictures, nakikita niyo ba ako dyan, it's always Noy with the boys, pero wala daw siya. So we can conclude that what she's saying in not so many words is, nag-away na nga kami ng kuya ko, which doesn't seem to fit into any of her defenses here. Yung mga tipong, kasi she, when she made those statements, hindi pa niya nire-reveal na nagbo-boost siya. But she was saying that, she's sick and that, parang, masaya na kayo, magkaaway kami ng kuya Noy ko. And she was saying things like, magagalit yung ate ko because I'm telling people about this particular rift. But I think it's more of a strategic statement. Bakit? She says na may rift sila ni Noynoy because it allows her to distance herself from the previous administration. Diba? Para pa rin siya, pwede pa rin siyang kuhanin as a product endorser. She will not seem so political, or at least she will be seen on the correct side of the political fence. Because let's face it, the Duterte supporters are noisier, are more numerous on Facebook and social media. And, if the 16 million, if the 21 million is true, then there's an active group of people who are so supportive of the president. They will also actively avoid personalities who run against him. Not just run in office, or who say things against him, who actively campaign against him, who support people who are against this particular and very popular president. So ang tingin ko dito is that it is a form of distancing herself from her brother to diminish her possible impact as being viewed as a political person, or unnecessarily political when in relation to her endorsement contracts. And also, it might endear her towards the Duterte supporters. Of course, that's not a very good strategy. We're not saying it's a good strategy, but what we're saying is this might be the reason for why she's saying that she has a rift with her brother. I mean, it's also possible that she actually does have a rift with her brother, but it doesn't appear to have any point in discussing it unless her point is to make her look palatable to us. And that so she might keep her contracts, at least in relation to other product endorsements. Okay, what about this friendship with Bongo? This is not unusual for somebody like her. If your fame is waning or you're not famous, then you can borrow fame by attaching yourself to somebody who is famous. Or if you're not powerful, then you give the impression of power by aligning yourself with somebody who is believed to be very powerful. So this is by association. So I think that she is exploiting her acquaintance with the former special assistant to the president, Bongo, by bringing up his name, things like that. And this is another form of associating herself with this side of the political fence. I'm not saying it's working, but this is what she's trying to do. Okay, finally, she's caught in a lie here. I think TP discusses many of the inconsistencies, things like Marcos children and her saying that, hindi kaaway ang mga Duterte, and that she's kaibigan niya si Bongo and all of that. But there's also one particular lie that stands out, is that when she says that Noy, my brother never met Nico, and no, not that one. I knew ayaw niya noon, yung social media campaigns. And she says, he's an idealist. He's an idealist. And ayaw niya ng social media campaigns. Oh, please, tell that to the Marines. Because the PCOO under the Aquino administration was very active on social media, and in fact conducted campaigns as a matter of policy. That's why they were giving out things like iPads or laptops, and there's a whole group of people whose only purpose was really to monitor and to influence, or at least participate in the social media discussions in order to influence the outcome of these discussions. So, this is not exactly true. Miss Chris has not exactly been forthright, meaning that she is failing in this particular campaign to come back, to make a comeback from this particular issue. It's not working. Whether or not she has actually hired a PR operator or public relations firm to clean up the mess that she's in now, it doesn't appear that it is working, at least in these early stages. You know that Chris's entire career is based on appearances. She doesn't particularly care about personal how do you call this, failings or shortcomings that are made evident to the public, meaning nakikita yung mga kahinaan niya, yung pagkakamali niya, ganyan. She's not worried about that, and in fact even thrives in showing herself to be quirky and not in the mold of the Aquino Cojuangco clan and all that. She's the rich girl who went to showbiz and supposedly succeeding in it, but it is still all carefully cultivated. Don't get it wrong. Every time she makes some particular taklesa statement that we say that she's talked about for a long period of time, and that is exactly how she thrives. That is why she gets her product endorsements, because she's talked about, and when she's talked about, then the association of the product that she endorses will also, in a way, it will rub off on them, and they will also get talked about. But this is one particular campaign that Miss Chris is not winning. And it's most likely not just because the Falsis brothers are particularly successful. The way I see it is that they have excellent timing. They know exactly the kind of weaknesses brought about that Miss Chris has in relation to whatever statements she is making, and they are very good at pointing them out. So not only that, because she has manifested na yun nga, well, she's had a run-in with Mocha, and that already puts her in the doghouse. Her run-in with Mocha was very clearly a campaign to establish herself as a social media presence. But Mocha is Mocha, and she's not that easy to take down. In fact, she's not that easy to bruise at all or to hurt, media-wise. At least as far as Mocha's position in social media is concerned, that is not only uncontested, it's enduring. So Chris's attempt to blemish Mocha and establish herself, actually made her look bad to the audiences in social media. So this particular campaign, she was already at a disadvantage to begin with when she took on Nico Falsis. Okay, di ba? Sabi ni Sean Bacala, sabi nga ni Madam Crisette, basta nag-fund siya ng trolls, period, she's a destabilizer. Thank you for... Wait, mamaya sabihan ako na naman na naka-filter to. I turned off the filter on this phone. It can be turned off. So, from now on, there will be, well, this it's really a nice phone. So, huwag kayong malinlang dito sa telepono ko. Okay, so to recap, the points that we're making. First of all, why are we talking about her when she so wants to be talked about? Well, because in this particular issue, she doesn't want to talk about it. Therefore, we will. Okay? And it isn't just to be contrary to her. It's because we can smell that she's hiding something. So, what else? She talks about a particular clause in her product endorsements that pertain to her health and says na in part of the attempt to gain sympathy says that she puts her contracts at risk. By talking about her health, it is also possible that she's putting her contracts at risk even without her health issue, but by being seen as too political. Okay? And then she talks about her rift with her brother, which we think is not, it's calculated. She's talking about a supposed rift with Noynoy when the fact is that the former president, Noynoy Aquino, is a political leper, meaning you cannot associate yourself with him and come off unscathed. Even the Liberal Party doesn't like to have pictures taken with him. None of the Liberal Party have asked him, none of the Liberal Party candidates appear to have pictures taken with him or with him raising their hands and proclaiming them as the official candidates. Nobody is. So in a way, that's what also Chris is doing, is that she's distancing herself from Noy in order to one, to gain sympathy, of course, and two, is to sanitize or an attempt to sanitize her image. And then finally, this friendship with Bongo, I would like to emphasize that mostly she's the one who's claiming the friendship. So let's not get angry at former Sap Bongo, because it's Chris who's characterizing the relationship. And while it is true we did not understand his stand with Chris the last time she tried to take on Mocha, I'm pretty sure that Sap Bongo understands the repercussions of what happened before. And he's, you can accuse him of many things, but being stupid is not one of them. And finally, she admits to so much, but inadvertently also lies when she says that Noy doesn't like to fund social media campaigns when his entire presidency was driven, his media image was driven by a well-funded and well-run, if I have to say so, well-run social media operation within the PCOO. So, okay, let's take your questions. Sabi ni Giko Ayuay, ano kaya ang mga kasong pwedeng ikaso kay Miss Chris Aquino? Nothing. I don't think she has committed a crime. Sabi ni Attorney Nick Nangit, more revelations and accountabilities will come out when Saturn and Pluto goes retrograde. Okay, Attorney Nick Nangit, I'd like to point out, is also a specialist in divination. Nax. Sabi ni MC Remolaclo, tingin ko siya rin may kagagawa ng tarpaulins na isinabit sa EDSA Boyan. Welcome to province of China, tipos and sakit niyan. Okay. Sabi ni Joseph Machete, can we demand Nico Falsis to expose all of the boosted posts of Chris? Well, when you say demand, it means that you have a right to it. We don't have a right to it. We can encourage Nico Falsis to reveal more about Miss Chris, so that well, I don't know what your point is, but for me, it's accountability. Sabi ni Zen Amistad, she's really kadiri. Pero grabe na talaga, as in kadiri yung mga pinagagawa niya. Ramil Easy says, since Chris herself states that she gave Nico money to boost, does this lift any restrictions, if any, on Nico releasing more info regarding SOCMED or even TradMed transactions? I.e., unless recipients and objectives are identified, she's presenting Nico as the decision maker in highly political or reputational damaging campaigns. Okay, yes, I agree. Miss Chris has identified Nico as having more discretion than her. She says she gave money to boost, but her instructions to Nico were clear, and therefore, if there were posts that were boosted that were not in keeping with her instructions, then this is Nico's fault. I don't know if there is a confidentiality clause in the agreement between Chris and the representation agreement between Chris and Nico Falsis. I think I will leave that for attorney Jesus Falsis to discuss. But usually it's like this: when there is a professional relationship, and that professional relationship carries with it an agreement for confidentiality, you are excused from such confidentiality when one attacks the other. So let's say an attorney-client relationship is a relationship that requires the lawyer to not divulge any secrets of his client. In cases like that, the Supreme Court has recognized that if the client and the lawyer's relationship has deteriorated, then there's no longer any obligation to keep those secrets. So all we can say is that Nico Falsis likely no longer has any obligation to keep Miss Chris Aquino's secrets. But whether we can demand that or not, we can't demand it. We don't have a right to it. But he does have a right to speak his mind. Edva Solan Jonathan says, what is bothering to this scenario is that she is two-faced all along. Kaya yung mga kadramahan niya lately, especially her quote-unquote lupus, is something na nakakasawang pakinggan at pagmasdan. I think also that what she's using, her strategy here, or her overarching strategy or her tactics, need a lot to be desired. Where her tears might have worked in romantic relationships, where she can portray herself as the victim and come across as, let's say, a battered girlfriend or somebody who needs to be protected, then the general values which are embodied in the Violence Against Women and Children Act indicate that we do sympathize with somebody like that who claims she has been emotionally or physically abused and so on. But we're not talking about a romantic relationship. We're talking about a relationship with a financial advisor and somebody who is managing her money. In one of the posts that of Fiscal Darwin Cañete, he indicates that this might not be, it wasn't a good idea for Chris to sue Nico Falsis, particularly for in a criminal case. So if you will remember, during her social media conference, press conference, she has her lawyers with her, but they don't really discuss the case, which they could do because it was a sub judice. Mostly they were saying was that Mr. Falsis and Attorney Falsis have conducted their defense by way of social media instead of filing their counter affidavit, which later on Attorney Jesus Falsis says is not true because they had filed their counter affidavit. So, Leona Hart Pumay O Bantol says, Mocha is connected with ordinary people like us. Crazy is connected to her interests and the oligarchs. Well, yes. Roken Cedar says, can you file a libel case against her for funding the spread of fake news of that blogger? I'm not sure, really, because that would seem like you would be filing a case for conspiracy to commit libel. I haven't seen a case like that yet. I'm not saying that you can't, but, kind of far-fetched. Let me see. Margarita Vander Gonzalez says, sa palagay ko po, kahit ano pang paliwanag gawin ni Chris, wala na talaga yung credibility niya. Parang hindi na basta-basta paniniwala. Walaan yung mga drama niya kasi yung fact na, well, I wasn't able to finish it. So that's it. That is true. Most of us agree, at least among ourselves, that Miss Chris's credibility on a matter like this is stretched. And that the best thing probably for her to do is to take her own advice and sign off from social media for a while. But I don't think she's capable of doing that. I'm not sure that Miss Chris is ready to even do that. And we're not in a position to ban her from social media. We really, after this, I think that we're going to be bored with her and we may no longer pay attention when she throws an attention-seeking scenario at us again. So, it's when you overuse a particular strategy, people start to see right through it. Kumbaga, the Tagalog phrase, bumenta na yan. And it's time for her to move on, either to other strategic responses or to another line of business that doesn't involve public relations. Sabi ni Joseph Machete, how do you feel about the admission for paying black propaganda against pro-admin bloggers like you? Remember, some accused TP, SAS, and Mocha as paid bloggers. Yeah, kasama naman din kami noon. Myself, Mark Lopez, even Crisette, and all that. How do I feel about her admission for paying? Well, I feel, vindicated. But I don't put too much stock in it because, people who have written nasty stuff about myself and other bloggers, they're part of the conversation. And it's their right to say whatever they want to say. Of course, short of libel, short of the other criminal laws, short of committing crimes. I have a thick skin. I can take a lot. I'm not, kumbaga, it'll take a lot to bother me. The way I see it is that if I don't hold you in high esteem, if I don't value you, then whatever you say about me also has no value. So this is my way of saying I don't really care. And you know what it comes down to is Kris Aquino is a media creature, and this is how she makes a living. If we look at her in that way and don't put any emotional investment in it, we will see this as a career trajectory on her part. She is trying to reinstate her career and earn in the capacity that she used to earn before, particularly under the Noynoy administration. But there are, and I emphasize that these are rumors, there were rumors before. There were rumors before that some allegedly, of her endorsement contracts were gained through not political pressure, but political persuasion, because her brother was the president. So, is she ever going to be capable of earning at that rate before when your brother was president? I don't think so. But I think that she's very, very worried at how low her influence has waned. Hindi na ganun hindi na namamayagpag ang pangalang Aquino o Cojuangco at nahihirapan na siya na kumita katulad ng dati, di ba? So, no, we have to stop emotionally investing in her. Pagka nagagalit kasi tayo, that's an emotional investment. Sabi ni Jeans, even Bruce Rivera, sinabi din niya na may mga pro-Duterte bloggers na paid, not just anti. Is that true? Not allegedly, ha? Facts, please. I don't know of any that are paid. I'll say that much. And I know many of them. I know TP, I know SAS, I know Mocha. They are not paid. I know Mark Lopez, Crisette. No, they are not paid. Sino pa ba? Darwin Cañete. No, not paid. Myself, good luck. You want to, you call me a paid blogger, paid by government funds, you better be ready to prove that. But in general, nobody has accused me of that yet. Meron yung mga yung mga flippant ones, yung mga hindi seryoso, yung may masabi lang. But I don't think that any of these accusations are going to hold water. Now, there are some people who are trying to gain attention, at wag nyo nang banggitin yung pangalan ng tao na yon, na nagsasabi na some DDS bloggers are paid and some of them are even paid by vlog money, which is the others are paid with government money. No, I really don't think so. I disagree. It's not likely. Kasi why? Diba? Why would government pay for it? In fact, government doesn't pay any attention, give enough credit to the social media bloggers. Look at how PCOO has treated Mocha. Diba? It doesn't seem to me that it would be feasible for there to be a plan to pay social media bloggers. At least not the ones that I know. There might be pages there that may be getting funding from somewhere, but why is this an issue? It only becomes an issue of national concern when people like Tonyo, sorry, I wasn't going to mention his name, when people want to accuse pro-Duterte bloggers as being funded either by government funds or drug money. But these things are they're very easy to accuse the people of these things, but very, very difficult to prove. So I don't put much stock in bare assertions. Susan Martinez says, when you cry wolf all the time, people get tired. When you're really sincere, nobody cares to listen. Correct. Bumenta na yan. Sabi ni Ahmad sa Huda, a media creature, not necessarily a human being. Sa club naman. Well, there's using a term, but you could interpret it that way also. Sabi ni Geraldine Santos, it's not about the money, it's the limelight, the attention she gets. Well, yes, there's that too, because attention is something that you can get addicted to. And if you're addicted to it, you are no longer in control. Diba? Because you just keep trying to go back to the high that you've gotten when you were the center of attention. So, yeah, she might need help in that one. But I don't know if it's an addiction. I know that it is a means for her to make money. And, well, she enjoys it, so I'm not sure if it's either that it's not an addiction. Marky Cruz says, why did President Duterte keep quiet about Chris boosting pub post? Because it is not an issue of national concern. It's not. Don't ask the president to comment on these things. You're giving Chris too much importance. This is not a presidential level discussion. This is a social media, you and me, you guys, discussion. Ian Marvin Abella says, hindi kaya kailangan niya ng publicity ulit. Well, she always needs it. Manny Wright says, what happens now to Person of the Year ng Inquirer? Will they take her Sampaguita back? Well, I think the Inquirer would lose too much if they ignore the issue. Marky Cruz says, what cases must be filed against Chris? Nothing. It's not a criminal act. It's a commercial transaction. Advertising is a legitimate contract. If those posts violate the law, let's say they're libelous or they endanger national security, so that they fall under Article 154 of the Revised Penal Code, then her funding it will become a significant fact. But nobody has made that allegation yet. Evangeline Eslava says, what is funny about it was the followers of the Liberal Party are now eating their own. Now we know that Chris Aquino admitted that she was paying trolls. Sarah Abigail M. Natividad Santos correctly says, basic rule of PR, bad publicity is still publicity. Yeah. Mukha sa, I can't pronounce your name because it's in foreign language. Mukha sa likod ni Fiona, tada Chris, sunod na dyan at may sakit na kunyari sa utak. Well, like I said, when she talks about her illness, in an attempt to parlay this into sympathy, then these are this is way too easy kind of kind of strategy, di ba? Margarita Vender Gonzalez says, love team sila ni Antonio Panay Pabida, never surprised, baka isa siya sa mga nag-fund kay Tonyo. Okay, so second recap, what Jacqueline Shelton says, mga tao ngayon, mulat na sa mga paiyak-iyak at pagmamanipula ng mga Aquino at maraming salamat sa inyo. Alright. Susan Martinez says, thanks Trixie, ganda at saya ng araw natin, panalo lagi mo ka, TP Sas, and my favorite attorney Trixie, honest na serbisyo kahit walang funding. Sabi ni Juvie Del Monte, bakit pag mga pro-Duterte vloggers may patawag ka agad sa Senado, si Chris kaya pwedeng patawag kasama si, I suppose si Pab. I don't think we really should waste the time of the Senate on something like this. Besides, social media is our forum. Why take it somewhere else where, even our views will not be considered, might not be considered, or we might not even be called to speak. So, why? It's not. I don't think that this is a matter for the Senate to take up. There's no legislation that they intend to make with this, except, their papogi for re-election. So let's not give them that. Let's not give them that platform. And, let's not give the Senate allies of people like Chris or the blogger that she supposedly funded. Let's not give them an opportunity to defend them using public funds. Diba? Okay, so those who are expecting me to be on Carambola tomorrow, I'm sorry, my flight is at 6 o'clock. So I will try to make it at the last hour. I'm not sure if I can make it on time, but I will make the attempt. And then I will still be also on TMD. Papasok na daw si Buklo bukas. So on behalf of Luminous, I'm Trixie Cruz Angeles. I hope you liked and shared this live and have also liked and followed Luminous by Trixie Cruz Angeles and Ahmed Panglinawan. One last recap, Miss Chris is being talked about on this particular issue because we know that she doesn't want to talk about this particular issue. Her product endorsements may be at peril, but most likely because she's being seen as a largely political figure, which is anathema to product endorsement. Her rift with Noynoy might be a deflection. She's actually trying to distance herself from her brother so that she can return to product endorsements. And of course, so that she can be seen as moving towards being aligned with pro-Duterte social media followers. Her friendship with Bongo has largely been self-claimed, and I'd like to point that out. And finally, she is not being very forthright when she says that Noynoy Aquino doesn't like to wage social media campaigns, because his entire PCOO was devoted to that. All right, I hope you all have a good night, and please do tune in to Carambola tomorrow, 8 to 10 in the morning. We'll try to make it within the last hour, and then tune in also to Tambayang Mocha at Blue. We will be there with Blue Olivar and hopefully with Attorney Ahmed Paglinawan. I'll see you tomorrow, and yes, Liz, if you go to the station. I'll see you all tomorrow. Please don't forget to like and share this live video, and to like and follow on Luminous by Trixie Cruz Angeles. Those who are going to be reproducing this live, please, you are for the moment being given permission to do so, but only if you will put indicate there that they should like and follow our page, Luminous by Trixie Cruz Angeles and Ahmed Paglinawan. You can excerpt it subject to the same conditions as well, and subject to crediting the authors with this particular live video. Thank you very much, everybody. You all have a good night for those who are here in the country, and for those abroad, I hope you also have a good day. I'll see you again tomorrow.